All right. Our first guest has some fans here, and he is Peter Konetchy. And sir, welcome. You're I call you a Senate hopeful. You hope to be the Republican nominee for the Michigan Senate seat that ultimately you would be running against Debbie Stabenow, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Yeah, and that's next November, so we got some time. A little bit about, first of all, let me say I respect you for going out on a limb and taking this on. Anytime you put yourself out there and you say, vote yes or no for me, that's a tough thing, and that's a real challenge.
That's right, it is.
Yeah. You are a constitutionalist?
Yes, I am.
Explain that.
What I do is I think the Constitution is the perfect document for governing a free people, and we are a free people. What it does is it limits the government to national functions only that can't be performed by the people, national defense, immigration, things like that. Everything else is left to the people or to the states, and that's what made us a free country and a great country. Right now, the government's imposing its will in every aspect of society, and it's stifling economic growth and stifling personal freedom, and that's what's destroying this nation.
Well, also, isn't that probably what has led to our incredible debt as well?
Oh, without a doubt. If you look at historical averages, about 90% of spending by the federal government is totally unconstitutional, and they're having to borrow it from our kids, basically, to fund unconstitutional programs.
Now, the Constitution was written over more than 200 years ago.
Correct.
To me, it seems like there have to be some things in there that might be obsolete.
Nope, not at all. What happens is if you look at the Constitution, it says the government can only perform national functions, national defense, national immigration. They haven't changed. What it said is basically everything else falls to the auspices of the people or the states. So the people can easily take care of their own needs. They can take care of society. They can take care of entitlements, voluntary charity, everything. They can take care of things like the internet. They can take care of industry. They can take care of every aspect of society far better than government programs can.
Let me ask you this. You know, your intentions are great, and whatever it takes to succeed, I'm all behind it. The intractable nature of the ideology in Washington these days, Democrats against Republicans, it seems to me that there's nowhere to move. I can't see either side ever giving in. How do we get past that?
See, the big problem is government's doing so many functions it shouldn't be doing. It shouldn't be involved in entitlements. It shouldn't be involved in insurance or industry or healthcare or farming or anything like that. And the only reason we're entrenched is because these politicians in Washington want to acquire power outside of their authority. Then you have all these different lobbyist units that want to gain favor and advantage through Washington programs. The way we get around it is to limit government to its specific duties, which is primarily defense. That's the main function of the government. The other things are all minor. You know, immigration is extremely important, but then we have the patent office, we have a court system, we have uniform weights and measures. Nothing at all that allows the government to involve itself in the lives of the people. We have to get the government out of the people's lives and let the people take care of it through voluntary charity, free market, or personal endeavor. And if government oversight is needed, allow the states to handle it, not the federal government.
Have you or would you sign the no tax pledge that's authored by Grover Norquist?
I would sign the no tax pledge. I would never ever raise taxes, never whatsoever. I think we need to go through and cut taxes dramatically, and I would support that.
But doesn't signing that kind of put you in a box?
No, what I want to do is I want to make sure I would never vote to raise taxes. The government has way too much money as it is now. What I would support is to raise money for the federal government as the founders proposed. The founders were extremely intelligent. They said that we should get money from duties, excises, and imposts. That's the primary reason. If we needed additional money, tax the states. So we tax the states based on the percentage of population to the total. That's one of the whole reasons for the census. That's been negated totally, but that's how it should be done. That way the states can act as natural check against out-of-control government spending. Right now, you or I can never argue with the government and say, don't fund that program. The states can.
Well, I think it's a tremendous challenge. I mean, it'd be very difficult to take all those steps back that you propose. It sounds like it's possibly workable. Very quickly, the separation of church and state, you have some thoughts on that?
Right, there is no separation of church and state. It's been totally convoluted. The First Amendment says, first it talks about Congress. So it says Congress can't make a law because they're authorized by the Constitution to make laws. So Congress can't make a law. It never talks about schools or city governments or things like that. It says they can't establish a religion, but the big thing is it says nor exercise the free exercise thereof. No one ever talks about exercising the free exercise thereof. So when you had the Alabama Supreme Court, they wanted to have the Ten Commandments in their lobby. That's totally Constitution. The government acted against the Bill of Rights and against the Constitution when it removed those. When they cut off mics of people, valedictorians giving gratitude to God at their graduation speech. That's the free exercise of religion. And when you cut off the mics, that's going directly against the constitutional protection.
Well, I think you find a lot of support on that. I'm sorry we don't have more time. What I encourage people is to visit your website, find out all about you and your positions on all these various issues. It's a long process. We hope to have you back again. One quick question. Are you wealthy? Can you afford to do this?
I am not wealthy, no. But I can afford to do it because we have a lot of support throughout the state.
Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you very much. We'll keep an eye on you. Peter Konetchy, good luck with your campaign. We hope to see you again. Okay, we're going to come back. We're going to look at the drunk driving issue again. Stick with us. The Doug Garrison Show is brought to you in part by Cliffs Natural Resources, a global mining leader with local investment and impact. Cliffs Natural Resources. And by Wild Birds Unlimited. Join them for their holiday open house on Saturday, December 10th, featuring the authors of the New York Times bestseller, Stranger in the Woods. A personalized book or movie signed by the authors would make a great children's Christmas gift from Wild Birds Unlimited. Okay, we're back with our second installment here. Alyssa and I have been drinking comfortably, not pounding them, or no dust is collecting either. This is your third glass of wine, and this is my fourth beer, which is not unusual. I'm one ahead of you, not unusual. Corporal Finkbeiner, let's talk a little bit about the negative impact of drunk driving. Let's say costs associated with it. If you get busted for drunk driving, and there's two different levels. Explain that to me. There's the DWI and the OUI. What's the difference there?
Well, the real difference is in Michigan, it's all OWI now, operating while intoxicated.
Okay.
Okay, and there's different levels with alcohol or drugs too.
Okay.
But there is two different levels in the state of Michigan now, OWI or operating with a high BAC. Anything over a .17, if you are driving, is considered a high BAC, and that carries with it, it basically doubles all the penalties that you would incur under a OWI and an arrest. So.
Okay, but the first level is
OWI.
.08.
.08 is the legal limit in the state of Michigan. Anything at a 08 or above is considered legally intoxicating. You shouldn't be driving a vehicle. Okay.
Now, if you get stopped and arrested for the .08, what are the costs associated with that? Both.
Well, of course, first of all, you're going to spend the night in jail.
Okay.
In the state of Michigan, you can't be released that evening.
Okay.
That is the first penalty, and that's obviously an eye-opener for most people.
Right.
As far as costs, they'll range anywhere from, most fines start at $1,000. Yeah. And then the Secretary of State also has options of leveling fines on you just to have your license if you get convicted of an OWI. Yeah. And they can range on a straight OWI anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 depending on circumstances. Yeah. If you got in an accident, they're going to levy more fines. And of course, you also can run the chance that you may lose your license for a period of time too. So
throw in attorney's fees and
everything else. Exactly. Sure. I mean, you could attorney's fees now for a OWI are probably anywhere from $3,000 to $6,000 minimum. Yeah.
So. We talk about one of the deterrents I know from talking to people in the department are people don't want to get their name in the paper associated with a drunk driving arrest, and that's a great deterrent. And you think, gee, that's the worst thing that could happen to me. No, the worst thing that could happen to you is you actually get in an accident from a drunk and someone's injured or killed.
Absolutely. Nobody wants to have that happen. You don't want to hurt yourself, much less hurt somebody else. And of course, when you're drinking and driving, you don't have the same faculties that you would if you had not had anything to drink. So,
exactly. One of the reasons we wanted to do this was because you think, gee, I'm drinking, I'm fine. Well, part of the reason you feel fine is because you've been drinking and you've lost the ability to reason with that.
Right, exactly, and that's the whole thing is you don't have the same ability to make good decisions sometimes when you've started doing alcohol. That's what it has. It has an effect on the mind. So.
All right, well, let's see where we're at. Let's see where Alyssa's at here after 2.5 glasses of wine in about 2.5 hours. So, like I say, we're not drinking fast or slow. You said that's about how you generally drink in a
normally drink, but I'm starting to feel it.
Yeah,
I know that.
okay. Right.
So yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Nice deep breath.
There's no winners or losers here, Alyssa.
She's at an 05.
Okay,
Okay.
still legal.
Yep.
All right.
Still. But,
All right.
but the other thing is, she herself said
feeling
she's
it.
starting to feel a difference.
Right.
Well, there's that thing they're called buzzed driving. I've seen ads about that.
Sure.
You know, you've had a few, you're not legally drunk, but you're buzzed, and you're maybe not going to drive as well as you should.
Right, exactly. Your time to react to something, say somebody steps out in front of you,
Yeah.
or coming into the winter time,
Yeah.
driving is a lot tougher than it is normally.
Yep.
So
Okay.
you're not going to be able to react the way you normally would. So
All right.
nice
Here we
deep
go.
breath. That's good. And you're at an 04.
0.40. Okay. All right.
So that's where we're at.
I've had 3 beers. This is my
That's your 4th.
This is my 4th, so a little over 3 beers in 2.5 hours, and I'm blowing 04. Okay. All right. All right. Well, we'll be back in a little while to further this demonstration. Stick with us. All right.
Guess what? You can get any new or used car financed at the Marquette Community Federal Credit Union for 3.9% APR. New or used. Got your eye on this new Escalade? 3.9%. How about this 75 Gremlin? 3.9%. Looking at this stylish Dodge Dart? 3.9%. How about a new Chevy Cruze? 3.9%. RV, boat, tractor? 3.9%. What about this DeLorean time machine? 3.9%. 3.9% auto loans, new and used at the Marquette Community Federal Credit Union. Stop in and apply today.
There are 206 bones in the human body. Having the expertise to treat them all requires a comprehensive team of specialists.
By subspecializing and working towards making sure that the patient has the most experienced surgeon doing the right procedure at the right time, we can give the patient the best chance they have to solve their problem.
Comprehensive orthopedic care every minute of every day. Orthopedic Surgical Associates of Marquette.